Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Mini Athletics and Me with Hannah Danby and myself, Claire Bowyer. And we have a really special guest today, actually. Very well known to Hannah, actually. It's Hannah's husband, Ed Danby. Now, Ed has been part of the Mini Athletics family since 2018 when Hannah bought her Mini Athletics Kingston franchise. And he's been following behind, coming along to various events and helping out for many years while he did his own career. And then last year, Ed decided that it was something that he would actually like to get involved more with and is now running his own franchise full time. So we're here today to see how that's going for Ed, what it's like working alongside your wife, and to find out lots more about Ed. So welcome to the podcast, Ed.
Hi,
Great to have
Claire.
you.
Hi, Hav.
Hello. Yeah, we're excited to have you, honey.
It's nice. It's nice to be here. It's going to be slightly strange, but it'd be good. It's nice to be able to tell everybody what we've, what I've been up to.
Absolutely. Yeah. So do you want to start by telling us a little bit about yourself, Ed?
So, like you said, Claire, I came on board in September ish last year. Actually, with my own franchise, but prior to that, I had been. I've done a bit of coaching before with Hannah's franchises in Wimbledon and Kingston. But I've done lots of things, lots of property related stuff. I've been an estate agent. I've been a lettings agent, a managing agent. Before I came to Mini Athletics, I ran a pub for a few years. So yeah, I've done quite a lot, with regards to that, but I've always had, I suppose, an interest in sport and an interest in, being active. And the more that I've sort of seen with Hannah's involvement and obviously being around Mini Athletics, the more it kind of made sense to get involved with it. And then, as I say, last year the opportunity came around, and I jumped in.
Yeah, so obviously last year, was a massive change for you and a big change for us as a family. Obviously, everyone will know working in hospitality, running a pub is 24/7. So it was really, really busy. So can you tell us how your life looks now in comparison to a year ago?
Yeah. So, as you say, working in hospitality, it's perceived to be a minimum of 48-hour working week, and realistically, running a pub, especially in the Twickenham area, we had a lot of events. I was probably doing anywhere between 60 and 70 hours a week, maybe more than that on occasions. And life was, it was great fun, but life as a family was, I suppose, put under a lot of pressure, because the time that I was awake, I was essentially either working, or our life was designed around taking the children to football training, netball, all the different sports classes that they're involved in, Cubs, Scout, etc. And if I wasn't working or doing that, then realistically, I was asleep to try and recover, because I didn't get that much time in. So now, by working for Mini Athletics, I'm still working quite a lot of hours, but I'm not working anywhere near the hours that I was working, and the sort of the efforts that I'm doing I can see the reward from it. If the harder I work now and the longer I work now, the benefits I see from it. If I'm out coaching, I see the benefits from that. If I'm out, going to see nurseries and schools and talking to people to try and develop business, everything's a benefit for me. It's not a benefit for something else. So, as a family, it's given us a lot more time together. Now I get to, the flexibility's there. I get to go to sports days. I get to go to days out for the children. I can work the diary around with a lot more flexibility around our lives. Whereas before, it was very set in stone as to, I had to work X amount of hours. I had to be there, and there wasn't really a degree of flexibility in it. I had a great time, but actually, I love what I'm doing now.
And would you agree, Hannah?
Correct answer. No, I'm joking. Yeah, no, I mean, I've obviously seen the benefits for us as a family, and even in Ed himself, what it's done for you. Yeah, you can't survive on 4 hours sleep a night long term. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
for me, it's been brilliant. Like it's great that we're both working for a brand that we love, working together more. Yeah.
I mean,
So
it's allowed me to. I've been able to do more things that I want to do, as well from a selfish point of view. Yes, I am working, running a franchise, and we are running franchises for Mini Athletics. But from a personal point of view, it's given me more time to actually do the things that I want to do. On occasion I go and hit some golf balls at the driving range. I've really got back into running, and I'm signed up to do a 10K in September. I'd like to do the marathon if I can get in to do it. I don't know why. I'm 46, so it's maybe slightly crazy to think that I want to do that. But there is something about, being out and running, and sort of you just have the ability to switch off. And I just didn't have the time to do that. And now I do have the time to go and do that. I can go out I can coach in the morning, and I can go for a run, and then I can at lunchtime, and then I can coach in the afternoon. So it's given, me, I feel a lot better for it. I've lost weight. I feel healthier. I feel, a lot more kind of, I suppose alive, if that sounds a bit cheesy, but I feel a lot more me, than I probably have done for quite a few years.
wow, that's amazing. You're really selling it. Great. And I love that we have so many franchisees. Like when I'm training up franchisees, you would not believe the number of them who go for a run in the morning before we start anything. And they'll get there and say, "I just went on a little run." I say, "Oh, how far did you go?" They'll be like 10K or something. I'll be like, "Blimey!" And then you hear it, and you're doing your mini athletics training. So yeah, we have so many people in the brand who absolutely love running and fitness and things like that. And I think that
Yeah.
is great that you can get to do that as well, because that's what we're encouraging the children to do at the end of the day, aren't we? To get
Yes.
this love for sport, and they probably see you out running, and you're probably getting waves and people shouting, "Oh, that's Coach Ed over there!" And I can
Yeah.
imagine when they see you. So that is great that you're actually, showing them what you can get out of it and things. So well done to you.
Oh,
So what's it been like working with Hannah? Because I guess you haven't done that before.
Put my finger.
no. Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, we've been together for years. We've been together for 20 plus years. But we've never really worked together as such. And we now, it took a while to kind of find the natural fit as to, what she does, what I do. We work together on certain things. I do a lot of coaching, because I love that. And I love sort of having the interaction with the children and the social media, etc. And then she helps me with the other side of it, the actual physical, I suppose, running all the background stuff.
Yeah, I think
The nut.
roles are, we work together, but we don't see much we do, but in a work way. Ed's out coaching so much. Like Ed says, his strength is in the coaching side, developing our coaches that join our teams, going out and building new business and doing more, not the sales side, but like he really enjoys that, going out and meeting people. Obviously my role with HQ has grown and grown. So I'm kind of doing that side. So whilst we kind of working with we've got the same goals, and we'll sit down regularly and kind of work out where we are and where we need to go. On a
Yeah.
day-to-day basis, we do very different jobs, really.
Yeah.
And
We've got we've got a goal that, we want to try, take over the world ideally, but it's and the busier it is, the better it is, because it's nice to be busy, and it's nice to see loads of kids being active. Like you said a minute ago, I took the dog for a walk about half an hour ago, and I was in the park, and there happened to be, I did a coaching session this morning, and one of the children who was there was in the playground that I walked by, and actually I was in 10 miles away from where I was this morning, and that child happened to be in the park, and he was like, Coach Ed, and was waving at me as I was walking the dog. So yeah, I had my mini athletics top on, so it was I'm perfectly visible to everybody, but it was nice to it's nice to get noticed.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. I think that's great, and I guess you've got Hannah. You know, she supports all the franchisees, so she's there kind of to do that if you need any help as well. So it's great. But
Yeah.
I've seen you coach, you know, videos you put up of you coaching and things. It looks super fun and really amazing. So it's great to be on board.
Got a big child at heart.
I
Yeah,
I am. Ultimately that is it. I think, the way I see it is that if I'm having a good time, hopefully the children are having a good time as well. And it's 40 minutes or 45 minutes, or do you know what I mean? That somebody is, they want their child to be entertained. And I know that, for our children, whenever we used to take them to classes, you just think, well, actually, I want them to enjoy it, whether it be athletics, football, netball, cricket, dance, whatever it might be. You just want them to enjoy it and to be entertained. You don't want to think, oh, wow, that was dreary. Oh, we got to come back for this next week or whatever. You want them to be inspired by the person that's there, and the more fun I think that the coaches are having, and the more that the children is inspired to go and do that. And they, with athletics, they can take it into lots of other sports, in particular, that the running and the jumping, throwing, etc. It builds into so many other sports that, if we can inspire them now, then for the future and for their sporting future, we don't want them to be, or we would love them to be elite, but I just want them to have a good, healthy, sort of understanding and enjoyment of thinking that actually sport is something that they want to do.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it's all about. Yeah, and so thanks for doing a great job there. So, what is a typical day like for you now? How's it changed? Obviously, you're not asleep, so that's a big thing.
Exactly that. I get to have a normal sleep, but yeah, I predominantly work Monday to Friday now, because of the way that we've got weekend venues and we have other coaches who coach at the weekend, and I will fill in, and I will cover as and when is necessary. But predominantly for me, I work during the week, and I work with a lot of nurseries, and after school clubs and lunchtime clubs. So um, I will. I get to get up. I get to take the children to school. I get to pick the children up from school, which is great. So I get to see them. But then once I've done that, I will have quite a lot of mornings. I will coach through till lunchtime. I might then get the middle of the day off for an hour or two, and then I will have to leave. And I then do 5 days a week. I do after school clubs in various schools around the area. And we deal with hundreds of children a week, and I suppose it sounds really weird, but I'm busy. I could always be busier, um, but it's nice to have that sort of, for me, it's nice to have that break to be able to go, actually, right, I've done that. Now I can go and I get that time in the middle of the day where I can try and speak to some new venues, try and get a new venue, try and get a new nursery or a new school or an after school club or something like that. It gives me time to be able to do that. And I'm not thinking, well, actually, I'm doing this all day, and then this evening I've got to work, and then but I've got to do that for the children, and we as a family have got to spend some time. So therefore it's 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever it might be that I'm going to be working through to. I've got that time to be able to spend during
You
the day.
Yeah. You have got a set structure now, I guess. Like
Yeah.
tomorrow, we'll go, to Rains Park, run 3 classes for all
Yeah.
from teens up to preschoolers. Then you go straight from there to, don't you have about half an hour gap to get to a school
Yeah.
where you then run PE sessions for them? And
And
then
then
you
I've got
come
I have about an hour and a half at home. Like by the time I've got home, and then I go again to a different school and run after school clubs for them on a Friday. So and then it's relatively quiet for the weekend unless I'm covering. And again, going to those places as well, it's nice to go and see those. And they recognize me. I know I go and see them from time to time anyway, just to watch and just to make sure that our coaches are doing a a great job, and they generally are doing a wonderful job. But it's nice just to check in on them from time to time.
Mm.
Sounds very exciting and great. Yeah, it sounds like a great week. You've got your schedule sorted really well. So well done. That's great.
Talking about, so moving on from like your day-to-day schedule, obviously you're really selling it here in like how amazing it's been. But there has been some challenges. What would you say, what's can you pick your hardest challenge since you joined Mini Athletics?
Uh, I think initially it was very strange, going from working so many hours and feeling, you turn up having had office jobs, having had, I suppose, a perceived proper job, whether you work in an office, whether you run a pub, whatever it might be, and having to work, you think, well, I've got to work 40 hours a week, 48 hours a week, whatever it might be, to then come and think, I'm coaching in the morning, then I've got some time to do something, and then I'm coaching again. If you look at it and go, well, actually, I only coach X amount of hours a week, people would say, well, you don't really work. You feel almost, I suppose, to start with, I felt like it was very strange, almost like I was a bit of a fraud, because I'm like, well, yeah, I am. I'm working, I'm running my own business, but I'm not I feel like I'm not working, because I've spent 20 odd years of being used to doing 40, 48, 50, 60, whatever hours a week, but actually the hours that I'm working if I look at it, I'm going, well, actually I do a few hours there and I do a few hours here and I do hours, you're not necessarily working
It's your
9 to 5.
productivity. It's your productivity. It's not
Yeah,
the amount
exactly that.
of hours you're
And you
working that makes you successful. Like,
Yeah. And it's having that ability to go, well, actually, on a Sunday afternoon or a whatever it might be, or a Tuesday night, actually, I've got some time and I'm going to, prepare some content for social media, or I'm going to, have a look into various things. So I know that actually my classes, I'm going to be ready. I can do, we're going to do this week. We know what the lesson plans are, but being able to prepare so that I can give it my all, in the classes is, equally as important as, whilst you think, well, actually, I'm not physically coaching at that point, I am still working, because there's all the preparation that has to go with it, and driving them from venue to venue, school to school, speaking with people. So I am spending a lot more time doing that. So the hours I work are probably more.
yeah, true.
It's not,
Social media was a big challenge for you, wasn't it? I mean, I really need to share some of Ed's outtakes. I wasn't even aware of all these outtakes. I'll be quite honest with you.
yeah.
The other
So
day.
social media is an interesting one. I didn't realize I was quite the perfectionist that maybe that I am. I have I come across as going, oh, hi, it's Coach Ed from Mini Athletics, and today we've done blah, 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 and this has been amazing. But I think there was one that I had actually never ended up posting, because I think I'd had like 17 attempts at it. And eventually I'd lost my marbles and decided that I was going to take the dog for a walk, and then I had to do something else, and it didn't happen. So it would have been a wonderful story, but I couldn't share it, because I just got myself into such a tiz that I was like, oh my word, and I'm pulling faces at myself and racking my brain. So I think you're right, that social media was a difficult one. And I find that if I just have to do it, if I just think, right, it's 20
Yeah,
seconds,
definitely.
30 seconds, a minute, get it done with. I know that I haven't made a mistake. I won't even check it. I'll just, do you know what I mean? I just think, right, I know I haven't made a mistake there. It's going. And
But that's
I don't have, then I don't have to
well,
worry about it.
yeah.
But sometimes I have to say it's taken 2 or 3 times to not trip up over my words or say the wrong venue or something like that. So that was tough. And being out there and people going, oh, you're Coach Ed, I feel like I know you. And it's like, yeah, I know, you see me a lot on your feed. Sorry.
No, it's funny because we had our annual conference last weekend, and we went out for a meal afterwards, and we did have this conversation. And it's funny because from someone who's looking at your social media,
Mm.
like I was like, "Oh, he's so good at it. He just gets on there and does it." And it's also something that I find really tricky, and quite a lot of us actually
Yeah.
find really tricky. But, when he got his phone out and he started showing us all the outtakes, it was so funny because
Yeah,
you really were like
yeah,
faces at yourself and talking to yourself, and we all do it, but none of us
Yeah.
actually realize that anyone else is doing it. So we
yeah,
we
yeah,
all challenge, but yeah,
yeah.
no one ever notices it, honestly. So
No,
you're
oh,
it's across really well. So
thanks. And I keep them. I keep them just so I'm aware of, I'm aware of my failing, and I'm like, no, you did it before. Go and check how bad you were, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever it might be. Don't worry about it. You've got this.
So it's
It's like a
not
pep
going to
talk.
take
It's like a pep
people.
talk for myself.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, dear.
you can see how far you've come, which is great
Yeah, yeah.
when you
Just
when
not
you
just pulling, not pulling faces at myself at a phone. Which when I was, you're filming it in a park and there's people walking by, they're like, there is a crazy man stood over there.
I really think you should put those up, those outtakes. It would be quite
Yeah, I'm
funny.
going to do
Uh,
it even if it doesn't.
maybe we will. Maybe we'll put a montage of a few of them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should. Well, it sounds great. So what are your plans going forward? You said you wanted to grow, so you're great.
Yeah,
What's your plans?
I think that's it. I mean, I think I really enjoy coaching. I really enjoy training our coaches that we've got. So actually, the more I'd like to grow our business. My business, and you know, helping. Obviously, we between the two of us, we've got 2 franchises. So helping with that element, as I say. Trying to get my enthusiasm across for it. I love it. I kind of not been indoctrinated by it, but to a degree, 6 years in, we are, it's,
You watched from the sidelines for quite a long time.
exactly that. I've seen it. It's kind of, and I believe in it. And I think that's what's made it a little bit easier for me to be able to coach, to be involved in it, to, to sell, to try and grow my area or our areas. It's because I believe in what we're doing. It's really helped. Understanding that children don't do enough sport and enough exercise, and trying to get it out there to nurseries and schools, in particular, is something that I really believe in and want to try and help them so we can get busier. I'll be busier. We can have more coaches, and they can also share that enjoyment of sport, because it is a great job. What do you do? I'm a sports coach. I spend my life outside running around playing games, which is essentially what we do. I mean, I've got an amazing t-shirt can from it. I think a year ago I looked like I was almost translucent, and now I feel, I feel better. But for that kind of element, but yeah, I want to grow our business and get it out there to as many people as possible.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's so good because you've seen it now. You've seen it as a parent because obviously as R3 started off in the mini athletics program. So you've now seen
Yeah,
it as a parent and you can see what they're doing now in terms of all the sport that they love. But also, like you say, you're now getting to see from the coach's perspective and the and the
yeah.
franchisee's perspective.
And the superstar event of the weekend, seeing all those children come from all over, and they all absolutely loved it. There wasn't there wasn't like a single one that's kind of like, oh no, why have you brought me here? Some of them have come halfway across the country,
Mm.
but they absolutely, they love their coaches. They love the games that we play. They just loved being involved and spending that day on the track, that they, on a lot of them, the first time that they've ever been on a full size running track, to see that enjoyment, you think, well, actually, I've helped harbor this love that they've now got to do
Mhm.
it. And as I say, the want is to push that on and share it more.
Definitely, yeah. It was a great day, wasn't it? And
It was
Oh, yeah.
brilliant.
Mate, I love it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it's hard to really describe the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's so amazing, like, the feedback from parents, the children. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's so amazing. I love
Yeah,
that.
it's exactly kind of that positive, that that you've talked about, that positive feeling of sport that we just want to get across because we all love it. We've talked about that, and I know your own kids are big into sport now, aren't they as well? And they've all been through, like you say, the mini athletics program, and you just want them to get to that point where they want to get up on a Saturday morning and do parkrun like you guys did the weekend.
Oh, our
Yeah.
youngest now, I think he's on a mission to just get yeah, to do as
Yeah.
many runs as possible.
Yeah. Every time I go for a run, he's like, "Can I come with you? Can I come with you?" And I'm like, "Well, actually, I'm doing 7.5 kilometers or whatever it might be, part of, doing a training program." And he's kind of like, "Well, I can do that." And I'm like, "Well, you are 9, and you've done 2 5K." He having never done a 5K until 2 weeks ago, to having taken 4 minutes off of his last one at the weekend was amazing. He still wants to keep going. So I think I'm going to have to do a bit more training before I let him come and do another one with me, so I can keep up with him.
I know. I can't keep up with Kaylin either. Like I just let him go and I meet him on the way back. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's
yeah,
so many people. Luckily, I mean, the one in Richmond is so busy. There are so many people there, and they're all there for the right reason. And there's lots and lots of children there as well. So if he did need to run off, I mean, he was determined to beat Ben at the weekend, our social media manager. So he was, I say, he was determined to beat him. So I think that helps with his beating his personal best time.
Yeah.
oh, brilliant. Oh, well, it's great. So what would you say to someone who was thinking about buying a mini athletics business? Because you've been there for so long, really, as a husband first, of Hannah's husband when she ran her
Yeah,
business, and now running your own. What would you say?
I'd say do it. I know that's it's very easy for me to say do it because I am in on it. Do you know what I mean? So, um, but I watched it. I watched it, like our Hannah's business grow from day one, really, and she was one of the early franchisees as well. So I've seen how not just Kingston and Wimbledon has grown. I've seen how mini athletics has grown, and the sort of the family, the mini athletics family that is there, and the support network that's there. So I would definitely say to somebody, it's do it. If you've got any questions or queries, there's people there that will answer your questions. You and Kirk are available, Ben's available, Hannah's available. Those of you who are sort of head office, HQ, whatever you want to call it, you're not sat up in your ivory towers, distant away from everybody, with no help at all. You're all involved. If there's a question or a query, there's WhatsApp groups, there was the Facebook groups, there's emails, phone calls,
Mm.
Zoom. Obviously I have Hannah sat in the same place, so I don't really need to have a Zoom meeting, and that gets a little weird. But there is all of that help for people to run and grow their business. And having seen how Hannah took hers and expanded it, whilst I was doing the, I suppose, as you say, perceived proper job. Um, it's amazing to see how it's grown and how well she's done, and now being able to for her to share that with others, and for you guys to allow and to let her share her kind of knowledge with people, and help bring people, bring everybody up. There's a collective want to improve. There's not like a sign up, right, off you go, see you later. There's your franchise, you deal with it. It is literally like, right, we're going to not hold your hand, but we will guide you and say, well, actually, have you thought about maybe this? Let's try this small step this week. I want you to try and look for, go and speak to some nurseries, or actually your classes are getting busier, so maybe you want to look at another venue. Have you considered employing another coach? Little
Just feel
things
like
like that to
nothing.
help develop their building, their businesses. So,
Uh,
having that help is great. So yeah, I would say 100%. If you're thinking about getting a mini athletics franchise, get one now.
Well, it's thanks to Hannah. You know, she does a great job, and Ben and all the people who support the franchisees, and and all the franchisees are amazing as well. Like you all have the passion and the love of sport, and you just share our vision, and that makes it, you know, so amazing that we get to do it with you all. So yeah,
Yeah.
said.
It's good because we have the lesson plans. We have I suppose the structure in place to pass on the games, and if you feel that things don't work, we can talk about it. And it's not like a kind of, if you think, oh, actually this game struggles or that game with whatever, there's multiple games within for different age groups, etc. And sometimes you think, well, actually that might not work with these children. So, but that game would, and within the same lesson plan. And it's got, the kids love it. And obviously that's a testament to you and Kirk for, designing those games. But it's having them and having so many of them to be able to be all the different themes and all the different games each week. It keeps the children interested and keeps them wanting more. So, from a franchisee point of view, to be able to sell it is quite easy, because you go, well, actually, I've got all these different weeks that we're going to do. We've got variations on a theme, different games. There is a structure, so it gives children structure, but it also it allows them to play, and they don't know that they're running around. They're having fun, they're having exercise, but they don't really know they're doing it.
Can you tell the high amount of energy that Ed has?
Sorry.
Well, it's great that you're getting to use it now, and being so physical in your job and teaching it to all the other kids is great.
Really not done enough yet today.
No, exactly that. I'm a bit hyperactive. Don't worry, get to 6 o'clock. That's it. I'm done. Switch off.
No, thank you very much, Ed. Thanks for coming on and sharing your journey. It's been great to hear from a perspective that, a different perspective that you've taken. And it's been great to hear how well you've done this year. So great. And
Thanks very much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Sorry for chatting so much.
No, it's fantastic. Thank you.